Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Pi Omega, Turkey, and the Turkey Plus submod. So after the extremely long episode 1, I'm happy to say that today we are gonna start playing the game. And we have a lot to look forward to. But before we do that, I still have to go through what I did in between episodes, but it will all reflect episode 1, so we can just go through it quickly. However, I will have to point out a couple of things that I found out that I wasn't aware of at episode 1, and that will be relevant to you whether or not you watched the first episode. So let's get on with it. So, first of all, the obvious things. I have went ahead and I have set the armies to reflect the real world situation. So here we have the Türk Kara Kuvvetleri, which is the Turkish armed forces. They are split into Birinci Ordu, which is the first army. That one is, at least in the year 2000, facing Greece, and it's located in Western Anatolia and Thrace. Then we have the second army, or the İkinci Ordu, which is facing Syria and Iraq. We have the third army, which is facing, the Caucasus and Iran. And then we have the Ege Ordusu, which is the Aegean army. I have it kind of bigger than it would be the right way to go, because this is an army that is prepared for an amphibious attack against Cyprus and Greece in case it becomes, a thing that has to happen. And thus most of these units should be either marine brigades or closely related to them. Here you can see that we have armored brigades and mechanized brigades, but we will fix that. I already started recruiting another marine brigade. I'm just gonna put it to deploy in Antalya. And as we're gonna add more units into this army, I'm gonna start moving the heavier divisions into the other armies. So that's how we're gonna deal with that. Second thing, I have split the navies. We have Agdenis Muharebe Filosu, which is our surface fleet, which is split into Mavi Firtina Görev Grubu and Barbaros Denis Filosu. And the second one, they're split evenly 15 and 15 ships. The second one is going to be stationed in Antalya, while the first one will remain stationed in or around Istanbul. And we also split the submarine fleet into 2 units. One of them is moving to Adana. Well, is it Adana? Yeah, I guess you could say Adana or Mersin port. Or the other one is going to remain again in the port of... Is it the port of Izmit? I'm not sure. It should be. Yeah, it's the port of Izmit. We have also deployed our air force, so you can see that actually, I guess the best way to put it would be like this. We have 4 F-16C groups. They're codenamed 141st, 142nd, 143rd, and 144th Wing. They're stationed all along the border. Then we have 3 F-4E Phantom groups, which are also stationed along the border. And we have 2 specialized air wings, actually 3. We have the light fighter wing, consisting of the F-5 Freedom Fighters, the SIAI Marchetti SF-260s, and we have the heavy lift group. The heavy lift group and the Marchetti are stationed in central Anatolia, where they are to, serve as training groups or a heavy lift group wherever we need. And this training light fighter group is stationed in Erzurum with another one of the Multiro Fighters F-4E Phantoms to, support us in case anything happens in the Caucasus. So that's the army. Navy and Air Force. They have been distributed as closely to what I think is a mix of reality and utility within the game. Now, I have also set our focus. We are working on the legacy of the Turkish Republic, which is pretty much the only one that we can do, with the exception of a friend or foe, which is the introduction into the tree that resolves the well, let's call it the Cyprus crisis, but the de facto frozen conflict around Cyprus, which we are not going to touch for now. We're going to go through this tree down through these focuses all the way, I guess, to the economic crisis. Unfortunately, I would want to look at awakening the industrial facilities and to a certain degree on reforming our armed forces, but I can't. Especially this one will hurt us significantly, because there is a lot of beneficial, what would you call it, beneficial economic focuses or civilian-oriented, infrastructure-oriented focuses here that we could very much use right now, but they're locked behind either reforms of the state or 1st of January 2017. And reforms of the state are located somewhere down here. Yes, you're located all the way here, beyond the potential overturning of the Erdogan party taking over Turkey. So we'll see if that is a possibility for us in the near future or not. The reason why I'm actually speaking about that is that, as it turns out, we really do have huge problems with the economy. We have 38 factories, of which 28 are going into a tax cost and 10 are remaining for the construction in the economy. But this is after quite a lot of juggling, because I started the production of a number of things that, well, let me say it this way. I went through the logistics and I picked up all of the things that we need to upgrade, like, in this case, the manpads, the small arms, and the artillery, because we either do not have enough, which should be the case of the artillery, or we need to upgrade our small arms. And this is not manpads, this is ATGM actually. Sorry about that. This is the manpads. I even screwed that one up. But we need to upgrade the ones that we have, because we do not have the most modern one. Even these ones are not the most modern ones. The ATGMs are 1985, but we do not even have all of those. However, before I wanted to produce cars and even some helicopters, but turns out we cannot import enough resources to do that, because that pretty much completely kills our economy. We would have like 1 or 2 factories left over to produce, and I really do not think that is reasonable. Same thing goes for the Navy. I actually renamed one of the designs that we had here for the destroyers. I already spoke about that we want to start building up slowly to the blue water capabilities. So Oruç Reis class here was supposed to be our go-to class. It's not the most modern. It could be upgraded quite severely, but still, I wanted to build that. However, the amount of resources we would need to import to make this happen, we just cannot afford it. So we'll default to building just some convoys, and we're gonna hope that eventually we're gonna get more factories. This is because right now the game claims that we are losing about 26,264 fuel per day, and that is insane. I think that will be recalculated, but I cannot be sure, so we'll just have to see, I guess. But if that is the case, most of these factories are gonna, and I'm not even sure if that's gonna be enough, that's just gonna be dedicated to importing oil. And again, that brings me back to the focuses, where some of these, I'm not sure, yeah, this one, Batman oil deposits would give us 11 extra oil in Diyarbakir. We would get fossil fuel power plants, and that would be great. The countryside resource search also gives you light metals and some precious metals. So yeah, we need those, but we cannot get them. Which is a nice segue also to the technologies where we're working on construction too, which will of course increase the speed at which we are constructing things, modern electric spinning, which will give us factory output and naval yard output and monthly productivity growth, microcomputing, which gives us research speed and monthly productivity growth, and GPRS, which gives us monthly productivity growth bonus, research speed, factory output, and reinforced rate. And then, as I mentioned before, we are going into the post-Cold War armored hull because we want to start producing our tanks domestically. There is a tank which is produced in Turkey, which is called Altay, and I'm going to get it. This will not be the best possible hull for it, but it will be good for now, and later on we can design Altay too. For example, we'll see if we're gonna want to upgrade it or design something completely new. Both is an option. Now, the way it works in the game is that you get additional slots when your GDP or GDP per capita goes over a certain threshold. Now, we know that we are nowhere near close the GDP, but I think we're fairly close to the GDP per capita. Yes, we have $1.17 trillion in GDP, but the GDP per capita is almost at 18,000. So if we can keep improving our economy by building more factories and getting some more productivity going, we could potentially see another research slot unlocking relatively soon, but we'll see. If that one happens, it will be most likely dedicated to more fuel processing and energy technologies. We would like to get maybe something in regards to fuel refining after what I've seen, definitely, or something about the power grid, because electricity is the king of this mod. Or we could potentially dedicate it to excavation, which is something that I really wanted to do, but considering how little we are actually getting, we're getting a little bit steel, a little bit technology metals, and a little bit fossil fuels. It just doesn't seem like it is worth it, for one point of each of these resources. Once we get more oil, more light metals, more precious metals, and maybe there will be other options or expansion available to us, we'll see. Then it's going to be much more beneficial. Anyway, I think that is all that I wanted to mention for now. So I guess we'll just go. You have been waiting for this for quite some time, and so have I. Okay, insufficient resources. We're missing 2 steel. That is absolutely okay. I'm not going to import anything in regards to steel. I think that's hurting... Yeah, just the production of the ships a little, and I don't think that's that much of a penalty. Is this 2.5? So if I moved you here, well, it doesn't even have an effect. Alright, well, never mind then. Now the game is not kidding. We really are losing 25,000 units of oil per day. That is crazy. I think it might have something to do with us filling the fuel of our units. Current fuel. Yeah, they do not have any equipment. So once the equipment is distributed, fuel might settle down a little bit, but we shall see. Let's speed it up a little bit and see what the game will throw at us. Well, it's not getting better. Okay, with the Navy no longer consuming anything. Nope, we are just eating through the fuel like there is no tomorrow. Alright, well, a couple of things that we can start doing here. First of all, we can start buying fuel from the market. So every 30 days or something, you buy 50,000 units of fuel for 0.1 billion. Okay, and every 28 days. So at the end of January, we will be really close to that. That gave us a little bit of extra fuel. Not much though, and I think we can actually start importing more fuel then. Alright, so roleplay wise, we are most likely going to import it from Russia. So let's see, if we dedicate 4 factories to that, That is still nowhere near enough. Alright, so if we dedicate 2 more, we have a daily gain, which is, it is a really small one, but it is a gain. However, that leaves us with 4 factories to build. Alright, well, that kind of sucks. What I wanted to do here is I wanted to add some additional consumption, which would improve our... It increases the amount of energy that you're burning, but it gives you bonuses: construction speed, tax revenue, and political power gain. But because we do not have enough, we're also getting a penalty: stability, dockyard, tax revenue. But I think this is still... Wait. Alright, we would be using a little bit more fuel, but I think, yeah, okay, that puts us at minus 361. That is fine. And once we finish this well, it's not a factory, this fossil fuel power plant, we will be fine. That's gonna give us extra base power gain. Alright, well, either way, USS Cole bombing. The United States Naval Command has reported that the destroyer USS Cole was attacked by the Al-Qaeda network, killing 17 American servicemen. American intelligence reports point to the government of Sudan as a possible supporter of the 2 attackers. Our condolences. Now, this brings me also to one thing that we wanted to do right off the bat, but I wasn't really sure I wanted to do it immediately, and that's building up dams. The dams are gonna take, oh god, they're gonna take a while, but they add more energy. 1825 days. Tax cost fast through 1. What's our 49%? Okay. So I think the 1% is actually not gonna make much of a difference. I think even 2 wouldn't make much of a difference. Actually, you know what? Let's get both of them and see if that impacted us. It did. Fair enough, it did. But we're gonna get way more energy, and that's gonna be important because every single building in this mod consumes energy, and dams are a really good way to produce energy from hydro power. So let's build those. And we have one more thing that we can do here, and that is we can start leasing out factories from abroad. For each factory that you lease, you pay an exponentially increasing amount, as you can see here. Let's try to balance it out. The first factory doesn't even appear. Nor does the second one. Oh, okay, I guess I have to unpause it. So if we would lease, okay, if we would lease 3 factories, we get all 3, but it excessively increases our expenses. But I think that's actually not all that bad. That's not all that bad, and I think we can afford it. So let's do that. Let's do that. And there was one more thing that I wanted. Oh, okay, we're getting already pop-ups everywhere, and that was... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It was under the... not under the earthquake or the tourism, or you guys, because we're actually working on you, or the elections, or you. It was under the unions, wasn't it? There was one which gave us off a free civilian factory off map. This one. It cost a little bit of daily political power cost. It hurts the relationship with the union, but it gives you after 150 days. And Off-map civilian industry. Alright, so we're gonna go with that one when we can. We just remove everyone and get this one. And there was also one that I wanted to do, which was the general media resolution, which is just a good one overall. That would actually offset the political power gain and give us even extra. It increases stability, which we have excessively low. We have only 29%. And it gives you popularity and corporate tax revenue. Alright, so we're gonna go this one. I believe that the focus gives us 150, so that should allow us to get both of them. The operation of return to life. With the protests and hunger strikes from prisoners, we understood that we need to give liberty to some prisoners which have got no liberty. Our government has to introduce a new amnesty bill. With this amnesty, our people will be satisfied and happy. Let's start it. Alright? A legacy of the Gojuk 1999 earthquake. On 17th of August 1999, a catastrophic magnitude 7.56 earthquake struck the Kocaeli province of Turkey, causing a monumental damage, and between 17,127 and 18,373 deaths. Those are weirdly specific numbers. Named for the quake's proximity to the northwestern city of Izmit, the earthquake is also commonly referred to as the 17th of August earthquake, or the 1999 Gojuk earthquake. The earthquake occurred at 3:01 local time at a shallow depth of 15 kilometers. A maximum Mercalli intensity of 10 extreme was observed. The earthquake lasted for 37 seconds, causing seismic damage, and is widely remembered as one of the deadliest natural disasters of modern Turkish history. The 1999 earthquake was part of a seismic sequence along the northern Anatolian fault that started in 1939, causing large earthquakes that moved progressively from east to west over a period of 60 years. The earthquake encouraged the establishment of the so-called earthquake tax, aimed at providing assistance to the ones affected by the damages of earthquake. There was destruction caused in Marmara as a result of the earthquake, as well as hundreds as killed, hundreds killed and many buildings collapsed. We started repairing this place back then, but the damage is still there. These places need to be completely repaired. So we use more political power, we use stability, and we gain damage. Great. Happy that the game started hitting us with these kinds of things right off the bat. Really happy. Thank you, game. That makes it more realistic in my book. Still, we're gonna take additional, 25 days. I'm getting a decent amount of political power, so we can do the resolution and then the industries. I will probably try to keep a good relation with the unions, but nothing. Oh yeah, we just need to replenish. What are we getting? Attrition? What is the game talking about? I don't think we are we? No, but we're missing a lot of equipment. I think it's the tanks, right? Yeah, artillery, tanks. We're missing a lot of tanks. This is why the anti-tank project is gonna be really important for us. I could potentially lease a tank from United States and produce it, but there's gonna be two problems. A, we have no resources to manufacture them, and B, we have no factories to pay for the lease with. So, doop. Investment offer from the Netherlands. They offer to construct a network infrastructure in Turkish Aegean. So this is thing that we're gonna be seeing hopefully quite a lot. Basically, anyone from anywhere, based on their relations with you, can come to you and offer to invest money in your nation building up stuff. So in this case, they want to build network infrastructure in Turkish Aegean. It's gonna take 72 days and it's gonna cost 5.9 billion, and we're gonna pay 10% of that. So we're gonna accept the offer. It's gonna cost us a little bit of money. but they will build most of it, and they're also gonna get benefit from it. But I'll always, unless something terrible happen, take that, because as you can see, network infrastructure gives extra productivity growth speed, and well, it reduces the duration of international investments. So generally speaking, it is just good. Okay, why did we lose that one factory? Is it because of it's because of stability? All right. So once we get you guys up, it's gonna clear itself. Raids are available. Nah, not interested. Our debt is kind of okay. We are in a severe deficit, but interest is really small, so we can service it realistically for a year or more. We can just let it run and accrue debt without having to actually hit anything. One of the things that I also want to do is we're gonna use some of the political power to massively increase our civil service administration. It's gonna cost us only a little bit. Oh, that's actually really good. And it lowers construction speed quite significantly, but we would get 0.5 daily extra political power. That's massive. Do we want to do it immediately? I think we're going to be getting a decent amount of political power. Well, not there, but we're getting 75 over here. 100 over here. 100, yeah, okay, we'll get to it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Chechnya almost capitulated. The second Chechnyan war is over. I think it's the second Chechnyan war. I'm not entirely sure. Might be the second one. Might be something else. Alright, fuel-wise we're doing really good. I kind of like this balance. We really need to do something with the stability. What the hell is going on? We have really high unemployment, as it turns out. The population tax is not giving us any favors. Alright, so legacy of the Turkish Republic is done. As I mentioned before, I'm gonna go and pass the general media resolution. The mass media in Turkey includes a wide variety of domestic and foreign periodicals expressing disparate views. This will allow us to just get better at that, and it's gonna be generally beneficial one for everyone. We have 46. I think we need 50 for the... Yes, we need 50 for that. So I'm gonna start the corruption strikes. One thing I don't like about this mod, and I think I already mentioned in episode 1, is that you do not get any descriptions. So we just have to, think about it and create our own idea in our head what is going on here. We're not going to be joining the EU. I'm probably not going to do anything over here either. I'll have to deactivate most of these. Alright, so where's the new industries? The thing here. Here it is. And it costs 15 billion, but I'll pay that happily for an extra factory. I'm kind of confused. I thought that... No, we need that factory. Alright, well, either way, we are well on our way into the game. I think the setup is pretty good. We are... Oh, we actually lost a civilian. Okay, that's the issue. 25th of April. And if we continue building you... Okay, there's no point in doing that. Let's just continue building you. And I just have to fix these guys. I swear that factory went. I got it. I thought it was the effects for stability, but nope. Alright, well, as I was saying, I like this setup. I think we're doing pretty good. So I'll see you in the next episode where we are gonna continue and get even further into the game. Hopefully we're not gonna get too pummeled here. But I mean, that's very hard for you. That happens almost always anyway.